Burgess and Bolton's weekly wrap-up.
So, hello everybody, and welcome to this week's edition of Burgess and Bolton's weekly wrap-up, where we look at everything to do with the London market, technology, change, innovation, and this week we are looking at, a number of things, but mainly umbrellas and fire safety. But Ben, first off, we've got a bit of proper news. As you can tell, it's getting towards the end of term, so we're running out of things to talk about. No,
we're traumatized
right.
from our experience yesterday.
So, yeah, we'll come on to that. Right. So, first things, COVID losses. It's a bit of news from insurance broker faces 10 million suit for COVID losses. First one you've seen, Ben?
So I suppose this has been spoken about for a while, that the brokers mainly perhaps are going to face effectively D&O claims for the selling of insurance, as opposed to insurers who are providing that insurance and the claims process. So Field Fisher, a big law firm, actually quite a well-known one, is handling the lawsuit against not a very big, but a sort of high street broker for some nurseries who were insured by Ecclesiastical, actually, very good company, but not covered. So what they're not really saying is not saying that Ecclesiastical is at fault, but the broker is at fault. Now the broker is saying allegedly that they were only working for one insurer. The nursery should have known that, and that was made clear. And therefore, there was, the fact that other insurers would have covered that, and many nurseries have been paid out, is neither here nor there, because they only recommended one, like a tied agent kind of arrangement. Anyway, the point is, maybe there's quite a few more of these. So if this does go through and it's proven, and I guess Field Fisher must have done their homework and said, well, they could have recommended others and they didn't. They may be on thin ice, as they say. And anyway, so that's it. That's the first one. But it was, they were thinking it was going to be coming. I wonder if there's going to be a lot more.
Yeah. It's funny that they say that it was clearly stated in the policy, as we talked about last week. I don't think anything is that clear.
Well, that's
with the 8 policy documents that I had, just for a simple.
Yeah, and the funny thing is here, it probably was clearly stated in the ecclesiastical policy, but what they're saying as well is that in these other cases, that lots of other insurers are paying out, so they would have wanted this cover, but the broker didn't offer it, which is arguably hypothetical, and buyer beware. I know all the arguments, but it'll be interesting to follow this just to see how it plays out, because it does really relate not just to COVID, but to any kind of selling of a policy by an insurance broker and the liabilities that they incur, professionally as a result of that.
Do you think that the regulator might look at this and then?
Yeah, I do. I think the regulator will be watching this sort of case quite closely, because you're right about insurance policies not being properly worded, but they are legal contracts. What's more tricky is what is professional negligence and what is mis-selling, or what is just D&O basically. So I think it is a fear that the brokers have had that this would come, and they will fight it very hard, I think, and they won't want any case law on this, because it's a tricky one. If everybody says, well, the broker didn't tell me, what's what I think will be also tricky is what is recorded, what is documented in the sales process. I hope it doesn't. Yeah, what it could result in, of course, is a lot more, regulation, compliance stuff, which ties everybody in knots and gets tedious for customers. So it's a double-edged sword when this sort of thing happens. It can be good if definitely the brokers or someone was at fault and professionally negligent. But if it just turns into a locking the stable door after the horse has bolted type of thing, I don't really think it's great. I think it's probably better to look forward and say, how can we better advise people in future? And some out of court settlement, perhaps. I mean, I don't know. What do I know about these things? But that's the kind of the Ben Bolton practical view of how to get along with everybody.
Yeah. Well, and we'll watch that one. It's
Yeah.
good. Okay, right. Let's have a look at what QBE are doing, because we profiled them on the show when Andrew Horton took over, and we said it was a good move. He's got a good track record. So this is, I guess, Ben, he's kind of nailing his colours to the mast.
Yeah, he's good. I mean, I think Andrew Horton is always a good leader. He thinks about people. He thinks about issues. He doesn't wait until everybody else has decided begrudgingly that they better pay. He's got straight on the front foot, and he said globally there is an issue with cost of living. So he's out of the normal cycle of pay rises and not linked to merit, just at a 3% pay rise to all employees apart from the top people. Recognise the top people have got enough money as it is. It's good, and it's great. It's great PR. I think people who are joining companies will say that's a nice thing to know, that company looks after its employees. Probably not a lot of money in the grand scheme of things, but it does help. Every little helps, as Asda says. Tesco, is it?
I don't know. Is it actually?
I don't know. Just check it out now. Google it.
I think you were right.
Nice, every little helps.
I think I came in too quick on the buzzer to challenge.
I think it's Asda. I'm not sure. Other supermarkets are available, including Tesco. But it's. I'm going to check it live, mate.
Yeah, you do that.
It's Tesco.
Yes, I know my brands and their strap lines.
What's Asda's then?
Asda is.
Hang on.
Have they got one anymore?
Hang on a minute. Now we got to look at this. So Asda is ditching its Asda price jingle and the image of celebrity Sharon Osbourne. Oh, that's ages ago.
It's Asda price today. Ching
Always
ching.
low prices it had. Yeah.
Ah.
I don't know. Anyway, you're right. I'm wrong.
It's because you're a Waitrose man. That's why.
Edit this out. It's a pre-record.
So anyway, yes, on the front foot, and as you say, every little helps. Do you think this, Ben, will start a trend in the industry? We'll start to see this followers, or will people just go?
Because many of the leaders, not most, they won't do it. They'll begrudge it and they won't do it, and that's a shame. But then they probably will all come around in the end and do something. But I actually think it'd be nice to see this sort of thing done industry wide. Some sort of let's do something, and then the industry gets a bit of recognition. Yeah,
and we've talked about the war for talent, and just the wage bill is going up a lot. So to do this, I think it is significant. I'm sure
it's in response to inflation, but of course Rishi Sunak, who has just resigned, would have said this is latest newsflash. He and many others would have said this fuels inflation, but I don't know. I think you have to help people. So there we are. It's all very difficult, but it's a 3% pay rise. It's not huge.
Good.
It's not huge.
Yeah.
Barristers are getting 15%, but they don't get paid much at all. Those junior barristers.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Good. Right. So, important topics as we're approaching the autumn season, the rainy season. We've got a new feature. Well, actually, it's not a new feature because you've already done it once, haven't you?
Well, we have done it, and I'll talk about this. But this is about umbrellas. So the industry is the industry's most ubiquitous symbol or most associated symbol is the umbrella, for obvious reasons, because it's coverage, a rainy day. There's even a thing called umbrella insurance, and that doesn't cover umbrellas. It's just obviously, because it's the insurance industry, it wouldn't do literally what it said. It will do something else, which it's a type of insurance that covers other insurances. Don't bother going there. But anyway, we're talking about real umbrellas.
Physical
umbrellas that lots and lots of insurers create, and marketing teams get them and they hand them out, and it becomes a thing. So, I mean, not other businesses do it as well, but insurance is particularly common. And so you're right to say we did do something before. So in 2013, for Christmas, we did a survey of umbrellas. And I dug out this article which was about it. So no savvy London market insurance worker leaves home in the morning without his or her trusty umbrella. It's a sought-after accessory for the fashion-conscious, recent research has found. Gracechurch Research. Don't say we're not at the forefront. It surveyed 150 underwriters and brokers to determine the winners of the umbrella Oscars. And Catlin at the time came out as the most commonly owned umbrella, 39% of the moment, and Amlin's, as it was called then, Amlin PLC, now MS Amlin, was owned by 12% of the sample. So neither of those companies are really in the form they were then. So, and a quarter said they'd choose a Catlin umbrella. So that was quite interesting. And we did do then, because we didn't just stop at which ones have you heard of or seen or liked. We did ask about which they most coveted or wanted, and they rated. And Ascot's, at the time, Ascot's umbrella, which is a nice thing if you've seen them, came out on top, 20% saying they really wanted an Ascot umbrella, and Hiscox second, and Ace as was. So quite interesting findings, I think, because there's people saying, oh yeah, that's the most commonly used one, but the one I really want is the Ascot. And then I came out with a load of honestly, I can't believe I actually said this. Umbrellas metaphorically represent financial coverage and protection against the elements, and so are synonymous with insurance. I read that today, and that's from 6-7 years ago, and I still think, what a pompous prat. And I thought, I thought at the time, that's a pompous statement. It's supposed to be tongue in cheek, right? I will say now.
Yeah.
But it was funny at the time, and a lot of people liked it. Some people took it too seriously. And there was a quote at the end that's not shown here. Respondents to this survey were very discerning, Bolton noted, with many strongly held opinions on the quantity, size, colour, and even the shape of the handle. The study showed that the perfect umbrella is any size that folds up small, any colour other than black, sturdy, and has a curved, comfortable handle. I said that, right? And it's in the press, so that was it. But we didn't do it again, and I think we should revive it because umbrellas are still a thing. We get them all, but we're going to do it slightly differently. So we will probably do a survey again, because I think it would be great to update the trend. Towards the end of the year, we'll do that. But I think we also thought over a liquid lunch yesterday, didn't we, that we would actually physically, you and I would test these umbrellas and add a third or a fourth dimension to it.
Yes. So we would essentially come up with the top trumps of umbrellas based on a very scientific number of factors, which we've yet to finally consider, but it will. Yeah. Each umbrella will be tested to destruction. I think
we're going to the Henley Research and Umbrella Research and Development Centre, and we'll be in proper wind tunnels with these umbrellas. what they call like a sluice pit, where they actually where water is sprayed in all sorts of different directions and tested. Anyway, it's highly scientific. It's not going to be me and you in a field or in Leadenhall Market on a rainy day.
No, I'm sure it will.
I don't think it will be that. It might be that, but I don't think it will.
So what we need is your umbrellas, or a description of your umbrella, or a place where we can go and get your umbrella.
Yeah.
And so then it can be ranked and take part in this very important scientific research that we're going to conduct. And
we put it on social media. And if you want, we've got an office in King William Street, where a drop-off point in King William Street. People can just drop them there if they want, and or you can invite us to go along and meet you as you hand over the umbrella. We've got a few already.
Yeah,
we've got a few, but are they the latest? Are they the greatest? Are they your latest innovation, or just something from the past?
We look forward to receiving them. Correspondence in the usual way. LinkedIn, just get in touch with us. I'm sure you know our contact details.
Yeah, and it just does not. Just as a caveat, it does not constitute the Bribery Act here. We are not. We will return those umbrellas if you want them returned. If not, we'll just keep them and use them.
Yeah, they may not be in a fit state to use.
But
anyway,
it's like Vision On, the old TV show. When your pictures came in, we're afraid we can't return them.
Yes. Yeah, that's it. Good. Well, I'm looking forward to that. That's an excellent item. Right, we have fire safety tips, as I said at the top of the show. So, unbelievably, Ben and myself were meeting yesterday, a production meeting for this very show. Oh, no, it wasn't. And we were caught up in a real fire alarm. A real fire. Because below us, there were a series of street vendors selling different types of food, and one of the tents caught fire, and actually quite alarmingly and worryingly, one of the gas canisters caught fire, and Ben managed to capture this on his phone, and I'm going to share my screen and see if I can play this. See if I can play with this clip for you. You can see there, or you might be able to see there, kind of a streak of flame towards that pink van, and that's the gas canister discharging. Bunch of people hanging out the windows, offices opposite. This is before the fire engines arrived, and a crowd of people at the end of the street. But anyway, we got evacuated, didn't we?
We did, so, and actually, it was quite worrying, because actually there was a chap who obviously knew he was talking about next to us, and there'll be a huge bang soon when the whole canister explodes, because it gets hotter and hotter. There was a few bangs like that, weren't there? But it was, it was pretty scary. I don't know what those people were doing there. That was a foolish place to stand.
Yeah.
When the fire brigade came, they closed about 4 streets, didn't they?
They obviously never had a fire for a long time, and were quite excited about cordoning streets off and directing traffic.
Yeah. So there may be a sting in the tail on this, mightn't there? Because our other mucker yesterday at lunch, Julian Steedman, our business partner on Insurindex, has a business that actually is the leading broker for street vendors.
Yeah.
So he thinks he might be covering them and get a claim.
So we do have an insurance angle on this,
of course.
And also a safety angle. If you're having a barbecue this weekend in the summer sunshine, make sure you turn that gas off if anything catches fire that shouldn't be on fire.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, scary stuff. Yeah, but it meant we had to move our lunch destination, which was extremely inconvenient, wasn't it?
It was inconvenient, but it could have been a lot worse. But there we are. Right. Thanks, Ben. Quick show this week. What are we doing this weekend? What are you doing this weekend? I'm going to be watching a bit of tennis and cycling.
Yeah, tennis, Tour de France, same. Not doing. Oh, it's my daughter's birthday on Sunday, so I've got a bit of stuff to do around that. But that's it. Yeah, no. Other than that, after a very busy few weeks, quiet weekend, I think.
Yeah, good, excellent. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. Hope you enjoyed the show today. Bit of fun, really, and we shall see you all next week.
Yeah.
And don't forget to send in your umbrellas.
Send your umbrellas.
Burgess and Bolton's Weekly Wrap Up.